Well, it's Monday. It is an incredible day to be alive. It's the 20th of January. It is the day of the inauguration. It's going to be very cold in Washington, D.C., and so they're going to be doing it inside. The Guardian, believe it or not, Emma, very good morning to you, sorry. The Guardian, Trump to be sworn in on the same spot as the Capitol riot, i.e. in the Capitol building. I mean, what's wrong with them?
And they managed to get convicted felon and convicted criminal onto their front page. Yeah. Just watching the meltdown, the Liberal meltdowns today, Mike, is going to be quite fun. America
apparently, and also the BBC yesterday. I have to give a first shout out to Laura Kunsberg, who I was under the impression was beginning to sound reasonably sensible for a BBC journalist. Went completely doolally yesterday. Well, first of all, over the hostages, because she couldn't bring herself to call Hamas a terrorist organisation, kept referring to them as Hamas, an organisation which has been prescribed as a terrorism organisation by some countries. And you're going, well, how about you just call them terrorists? It'd be simpler, wouldn't it?
Even
but she couldn't do that. And then every single question she had about Donald Trump to all sorts of people, including Piers Morgan, who was on the panel. But he's dangerous. But you know, you can't believe a word he says. But you know, Fiona Hill was there, who used to be Theresa May's advisor, and you should have seen how disappointed Laura Kunsberg was when she asked Fiona Hill, well, you were there with Theresa May when she went to meet Donald Trump. What was he like? And Fiona Hill said, actually, he was incredibly sensible. He had right on top of his brief. We saw him just after the inauguration in 2016.
Compos mentis.
He knew exactly what his brief was on all matters to do with defence. He was very, very good on detail. He was very engaged, and he wanted to talk to us about a great many things of mutual benefit to us. And Laura Kunsberg's face was just sort of falling with every single thing that she said. Yeah. Because they can't accept that Donald Trump is a very smart man who's been very successful and has now done something that only one other person in the world has ever done, which is to get back into the White House after being away for 4 years, you know? Grover Cleveland being the other one.
But it's worse than that, Mike. They cannot accept democracy. I mean, this man was voted in. I think we need to respect the will of the American people, which is, for me, it's so disrespectful, this endlessly banging on about how he's a convicted felon and all of this stuff. Right. Absolutely.
And these are the same people who say Elon Musk shouldn't be interfering in British politics.
Of course they are.
But they've got plenty to say about American politics.
Well, they've got plenty of Labour activists going around there. I think it's a shameful day that our Prime Minister has not been invited, is not there. Nigel Farage will be there, Boris Johnson will be there. Suella was at the airport yesterday with her
MAGA. Patel's there.
Absolutely, with her MAGA cap on.
Alex Phillips is there.
Alex Phillips, I know.
She's gone with Liz Truss. Liz Truss is also there.
Exactly. And what a day to be alive. And yesterday, what a day to be alive as well. I mean, unbelievably moving scenes. I got goosebumps from the hostages being released, but also just from watching Trump there.
Absolutely right. I mean, the headlines this morning are all very much focusing on the hostages, and we should look at those first. Thank you for bringing Emily home on the front page of the Daily Mail. One of the girls, Emily Damari, British, of course, raised in Beckenham in south-east London, had an emotional reunion with her mother. Her left hand is bandaged because 2 of her fingers were shot off by Hamas. They also killed her dog when they took her hostage from the kibbutz in October 2023. And what a terrible, terrible ordeal that they must have suffered. I mean, they looked remarkably well, considering. But we know from what's happened to other hostages and from tales that have been told that this was not a pleasant place to be for 470 days.
470 days of captivity in 15 months of captivity in these wretched tunnels, but also, you know, we just don't have the details yet. The psychological impact, the trauma, the anxiety, the depression, I mean, other hostages' parents have been saying, you know, my child was mentally, physically and spiritually broken. I think we have to be aware. Some of them, they suggest even that some of the female hostages may have been impregnated and also pregnant.
Well, many of them were. When they had the first lot that were brought back, so many of them were actually pregnant, you know?
And that's from, you know, barbaric rape by terrorists. And let's just be clear that what these young women have been through, and the rest of them have been through, we don't know yet, and we'll never know, but it will take a long, long time to even start to kind of recover or process what they've what they've endured.
The Sun front page, after 471 days of Gaza hell, home at last. Freed Emily Damari hugs her mum yesterday after a 470-day hostage nightmare at the hands of Hamas terrorists. You can't imagine it, can you?
No, and as you say, the scenes of the terrorists leaping around yesterday and covering their faces and all of that was absolutely despicable.
And what was interesting, watching the coverage yesterday on various different channels, was somebody actually said, you know, they won't even know probably the full detail of what happened on October the 7th, because they were taken hostage and they were taken into a dark tunnel and probably had no access to any kind of television, no access to any kind of media at all. So they probably don't know even the full scale of how awful it all was.
Or that the world was waiting for them to be released, or that their families never gave up, or any of that. I mean, what just a blackout for them.
And they might not even know really how long they were gone.
Exactly. I was going to say, I mean, how would they know it was 15 months, 471 days?
Yeah, absolutely awful stuff. Front pages as well, also looking at Trump, as I say. Front page of the Financial Times, Trump poised to launch a blitz of 100 orders from day one. He's going to enact all sorts of policies that will fix whatever Joe Biden did. Actually, this morning that's changed to 200 orders. I think he's going to be actioning on the first day. It's going to be quite a remarkable period of time, I think, the next 4 years, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a lot of people running scared. I love this from one of the Trump spokesmen. Their intention is to do shock and awe, so their opponents' heads are spinning. I mean, they're not messing around here. And also, this isn't just day one. This is, the Trump team have been working behind the scenes, not only for years, but for the last few months, really getting the detail, curbing immigration, dealing with all the kind of TikTok stuff, you know, increasing tariffs. Lots of exciting things are going to happen, I think, almost as he's sworn in.
Yes.
You know?
But of course...
And what a historic inauguration. First time in, I think, 40 years it's going to be indoors.
Yes.
Freezing temperatures in Washington.
They say it's partly because of all the freezing temperatures, but it may also be because of safety, one, because let's not forget, you know, there have been 2 attempts on his life already. Also, there are worries about drones, because drones are now such a prevalent problem that basically putting it inside, you're going to get rid of all of that, aren't you?
Well, exactly. And also, who can blame the man when you have been shot in the head? I mean, I can't imagine you feel particularly great at these huge outdoor events that somehow the police don't seem able to make secure.
Yes.
And as you say,
and also he will be
something.
Doing what he's being instructed to do as well by his security team. The security team say, look, we'd just be a lot easier if we do it inside. Won't be so cold. But it means that all of the crowds that normally would be in the mall watching it won't be there. But of course, the naysayers and the anti-Trumpers will go, oh, well, that's because nobody's going to turn up. They seem to be forgetting that there's about 80 million people who voted for this guy.
I think there'll be quite a lot of crowds anyway. I think there'll be plenty of scenes and plenty of supporters.
Oh, of course there will.
Already,
I mean, the whole party scene in Washington has been transformed, because what you've had 4 years of this moribund, you know, decrepit old git, quite frankly, you know, who can't stay awake for long enough to go to a party.
And the details as well coming out about Biden are really interesting, about just how unwell and how propped up he has been for the past few years.
Criminally, really, by the Democrat
sort of
establishment.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. Right, let's have a look at last night's celebration rally in Washington, D.C., because there's a real, you know, I've lived in America. I know what it's like when they get a new president, and this is a real feel-good moment, I have to say, for Washington, D.C., which, as I say, has been steeped in this kind of, you know, really dull, really boring, really woke kind of, you know, presidency for the last 4 years, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Have a look at this. This is Make America Great Again.
Tomorrow at noon, the curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline, and we begin a brand new day of American strength and prosperity, dignity and pride. Bringing it all back. Once and for all, we're going to end the reign of a failed and corrupt political establishment in Washington, a failed administration. We're not going to take it anymore. We're going to stop the invasion of our borders. We're going to reclaim our wealth. We're going to unlock the liquid gold that's right under our feet, liquid gold. We're going to bring back law and order to our cities. We're going to restore patriotism to our schools, get radical left, woke ideologies the hell out of our military and out of our government. And we are going to make America great again.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, how can you not like the guy? I mean, you just like him, right? Here's some of the things he's going to be doing: declaring an emergency at the border. He's going to issue proclamations closing the border. He's going to designate cartels, drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organisations. Catch and release will be reinstated. Military will be directed to construct a new phase of the border wall. He's going to terminate Joe Biden's orders on energy drilling restrictions. He's going to return federal workers to in-person work, meaning no more working from home. Pausing all offshore wind leases. End DEI hiring practices in the federal government. You get hired on merit only. He's going to withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord again. He's going to order every agency to remove all federal actions increasing costs for Americans. And he's going to suspend the clearances for the 51 officials who lied about Hunter Biden's 2020 laptop story. So, I mean, that's just day one.
The DEI people are terrified. They're going to have to try and justify their literal existence.
Right.
But Mike...
Well, that woman that runs the Los Angeles Fire Department is going to be in for a bit of a shock, I think. You know?
Every single one of those points that Trump made about unlocking the liquid gold beneath their feet, about stopping the invasion of their borders, about just releasing the wealth and unleashing the wealth and
bringing back pride in your country,
restoring patriotism, and getting rid of woke in government and patriotism in schools. Every single point we could do with here. Every single one.
We need it here.
Apply to the UK.
Yeah,
and
absolutely
we desperately need it here, and we need a Trump who is like that, not Starmer, to be standing up and saying that.
Meanwhile, Keir Starmer sent a rather ridiculously worded many congratulations to Donald Trump.
It's like a Christmas card thing.
I know, and hopeful that we're going to have a meeting soon. Well, he's not there, and he's got some bad news from the Daily Mail. Basically, Keir Starmer... nobody in America knows who he is. Vox Pop reveals only 8 people in 100 in the United States have ever heard of him. When they were asked about, do you know who Keir Starmer is, someone said, is he a serial killer?
And this was in New York. Right? This was in Manhattan, right?
Yeah.
Where you might expect people to be slightly more kind of, I don't know, politically aware or educated, whatever. In Manhattan, 8% of people, and some of them sort of went, vaguely, not really sure. They literally didn't know who he was.
No. Well, I bet you'd get the same problem here. A lot of people don't know who he is here, except for the fact that, spent the weekend doing some very odd things, right? Because he was in Ukraine last Thursday, promising £4.5 billion. He's pictured playing football here on Sunday. Let's not forget that he went to Auschwitz with his wife on Saturday and posed for a picture. A lot of people are very critical of that. I know Nicola Sturgeon's done it in the past. Other people have done it. But it's really a bad look, it seems to me. I mean, if you want to go, his wife's Jewish, understandably, wants to go to Auschwitz. He's in Poland. He's taken her on this particular trip, obviously. Nobody knows what else he was doing in Poland. But I just think, why make a PR sort of statement and a stunt about the fact that he put out more than one picture.
I know.
Pictures of him walking around, pictures of him looking meaningfully at this, watchtower.
Defiantly holding hands, the two of them.
It's just
no, I thought it was very inappropriate.
It doesn't look right to me.
No.
And a lot of people said the same on social media. They were like, why is he making this into some kind of, look at me, I'm in Auschwitz?
I thought that was really inappropriate, actually. Yeah. I mean, I've been there, and people filming things on their phones anyway feels just the atmosphere there is not somewhere you should be doing selfies or videos or whatever. But this, the scenes that we're seeing now, I thought was so not inappropriate.
Yeah. Just a bit tasteless, really.
Yeah, indeed.
It's not a political place. It's not a place to make a political point. What's he trying to prove here? That he's some kind of, compassionate bloke? You can't even put the wreath down. Look at him.
I know, he was struggling with that as well.
Just useless. Just get rid. Just get rid of him. We've got lots more to do here. Emma Woolf is here. It's 19 minutes past 6. We're here, of course, for 4 glorious hours, minus 20 minutes right now, until 10 o'clock. And we have got so much to tell you about over the weekend. There's been so many amazing stories to do. Morning, Mike, says Michelle in Altrincham. Best show on TV. Very, very happy about Trump becoming President of the United States of America. Bring it on. I think so.